This is episode number 42 of the Homeowner Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to the Homeowner Show. We are so excited that you could join us today because we got a great show for you guys. If you have not yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button there in Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, whatever it is you're using. Wherever podcasts are available, hit that subscribe button, notification bell on YouTube, all the good stuff. How you doing, Kev?
Man, I'm just glad to be here.
Oh,
I missed last week.
yeah, well, you know, we got along without you.
Obviously. You got along without me.
We hit a record last week.
I'll just tell you this. I went back and I listened to it, and I loved every minute of it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
That was a really good episode. Like the information in that episode is really, really good. If you haven't gone back and listened to episode number 41, people, you need to go back and listen to it. Stop this one. Go listen to 41. Really, really good. But just put your easy pants on.
That's right. It's going to be a long ride.
Hour and a half.
I'm glad that you finally agree with me about Nolan Ryan.
Not you know what? I about came through my radio when I was listening to that. I was so mad.
Yeah.
I punched something.
You punched something?
Yeah.
Was it like a batter?
No, although that would have been hilarious.
Yeah. So you were there for the game. Did they win?
We did. Yeah, they did win.
Who were they playing?
They were playing the Indians.
It wasn't like some AAA ball or something?
No.
Oh, it's the Indians. I mean,
well, but we had lost the previous 3 to them in the series, so it was nice to get one.
it was a little vengeance.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
it was good. Yeah, so at least they won. When are you going to travel to a game? And it's one thing if, it's in your hometown.
Sure.
You get to see them every once in a while, but whenever you travel to a game, you kind of want to see a win.
Yeah. So what's your go-to snack in the ballpark there?
Oh man, they got some really good ones.
Yeah.
The problem is I was on a diet whenever I went, so that was a problem. But
baseball games don't count.
Yeah,
It's the Cracker Jacks, man. You can have whatever you want.
Yeah, I guess. Probably the thing I love most there is they've got some garlic fries.
Ooh.
That are so good.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what's really weird though is I just don't get this. Ballparks now, they feel like they've got to cater to everybody.
Sure.
So I mean, they've got some really, really interesting things at the Rangers ballpark, but like, they've got a vegan stand.
Gross.
I know. Okay, if you're a vegan out there, that's your thing. It's not my thing. That's fine. But I'm shocked at how many places are catering to. I mean, you're not supposed to eat healthy in a ballpark, just like you said, right?
I don't go there to like have a salad.
Right. Oh, there's a salad place there too.
Ah.
So, and then there's a vegan place, and like anyway, it's just kind of interesting as I was walking around. It's a little nostalgic for me because this is last year that park's going to be up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're gonna demolish it because they're building one next door to it with a roof. Thank goodness. But
so it's still going to be in Arlington.
Still going to be. I mean, it's right next door.
Okay.
Right across the street. It's right there. But I took that one last stroll. Maybe I'll go to another game this season, but that one I made sure I took the stroll.
Yeah.
Walked all the way around.
Yeah, like we don't believe in tearing down stadiums here in Houston.
Even if you should.
That's right. I mean, we sort of tease the idea of turning it into a hotel.
Or like a skate park.
But it's just like, it's that old stadium that's still over there.
Yeah.
We're not going to use it.
Well, it's funny because it's like this catch-22. We want to tear it down, but there's asbestos.
Well, anytime anybody mentions it, there's like a march.
Oh, dude, you either love that place or you hate that place. Most people love it.
Yeah. It's got a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah. We're talking about the Astrodome. Yeah. If you don't know what we're talking about.
Eighth wonder of the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible building.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, at the time it was built, there had never been anything like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you walk next to it, and there's just this little sidewalk between it and NRG.
Yeah.
And the NRG just
it looks tiny now.
Yeah, dwarfs it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So that was a fun tangent.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the way it started.
Yeah.
In case you people out there don't know, I've got a little bit of a love affair with Nolan Ryan, and I love that guy, but I've never met him. So here's the thing: if you're out there and you have a way to get me in the same room with Nolan Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
I need you to send a message to info@homeownershow.com or Kevin@homeownershow.com. Leave Craig out of this.
Yeah, I don't care.
And I will gladly find a way. I'll take you out to a nice dinner.
I'm fairly confident I can outpitch him at this stage of my life, or at this stage of his life.
Really?
Right now?
I would love to see that.
He's got to be like in his early 70s, doesn't he?
No.
How old is he?
He's in his 60s.
I can take him.
No. He's Nolan Ryan.
I mean, I got the whole lefty thing going for me.
That's true.
I mean, if nothing else, I can throw some wicked junk.
He's got a left hook, though.
I'm not going to charge him.
Robin Ventura would tell you not to.
Well, yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah.
There's video evidence.
Yes, there is. And it gets replayed about once a year.
Yeah.
Over and over and over that day.
Yeah. So wait a minute, we're gonna be kicking off what hopefully is a fun series for everybody.
Yeah.
What we're calling Tales from the Pit.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting.
And so what we're talking about here is I think a lot of people sometimes run into issues where they really feel like their home is just an ever sucking money pit, and which is a great Tom Hanks movie, by the way.
Yeah, if you haven't seen The Money Pit, go see it.
So we may need to do like a live broadcast of that movie or something, and just Craig and Kevin commentary as we watch it.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do rent out a theater for all of our folks and just have them come join us.
Deal. I'm in.
Okay. With the not the chili fries, the garlic fries.
The garlic fries.
Yeah.
Gotta have them.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
We'll have Tom Hanks come too.
Okay, if you have
Nolan's not invited.
If you have a way
unless he wants to provide the beef
in the same room. Yeah, Nolan can bring the beef.
That would be fun. We could live comment with Nolan and Tom.
I'm in.
All right, let's make that happen.
Okay.
So anyway, Tales from the Pit. Kevin and I have had a couple things happen this week. We thought we'd share with you guys just some issues that we've had around the home. And so at the end of the show, we're going to talk about how you can share your stories with us, how you can get on the show to share maybe your tale from the pit. And it's really just to help encourage people that, you're not the only one going through this. Other people have experienced this problem too. Maybe these are some creative solutions that you haven't heard about before. But here's what we've dealt with.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and kick it off. So mine this week actually had to do with my lawn.
Okay.
And I think I've talked about this before. I have a larger than average size lawn. And I was telling Kevin before the show, before we got the lawnmower that we have right now, it used to take me like 2 days to mow the lawn because I was push mowing it. And it's basically like, the area that I have to mow is like 3.5 acres.
Yeah, and it's obviously you had a self-propelled mower, right?
I did not. No.
What? you push mowed by your legs.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That sounds awful.
I have some shapely legs though. So
yes, you do.
So I'm still, living in the residual of that today. But anyway, so we finally, after about 6 to 8 months of me push mowing this lawn, which was just grueling, but also rather satisfying at the same time.
Well, sure.
I decided,
but when you were done, you had to start over.
Oh my gosh. Especially in this, it's just the worst. So anyway, finally broke down and got a 0-turn mower. Could knock it out in a few hours. Yeah. And could just power through it. Because man, when it got thick and I was having to push mow it, that was just, it took me 3 days. Anyway, I've now had this issue with this 0-turn mower twice. And I'll just tell you, I've got a Cub Cadet 0-turn, I think it's a 46-inch deck. So it's not huge, but it's big enough to do this property rather quickly. But the drive belt on it has gone out twice. It went out the first time. And I didn't really know what happened. All of a sudden, the motor's still going, but like I can't make it go.
Okay.
And like the mowing deck itself is still going. I'm like, what's going on? So I finally.
So the blades are turning.
The blades are turning, but like the mower, the wheels won't turn.
Okay.
And, which is kind of like a jarring feeling on one of those.
So it's similar to if you have a self-propelled mower, it just wouldn't go on its own.
It just
okay,
but like it literally just stopped in the middle of a field.
Oh goodness.
And so I turned it off, got off, and looked underneath, and sure enough, the drive belt had just broken. Which, if you've never taken the drive belt off, it's kind of tricky to go back in and figure out where it went.
Oh, because it was you didn't see it before it came off,
right? Because there's a tension pulley that pushes it one way or the other in order to make everything kind of sit right.
Sure.
So anyway, I called in the big guns, called my dad. Yeah. who's really good at working on mechanical stuff. And I was like, hey, Dad, I haven't done this before. I really feel like I'm going to need an extra set of hands to do this. So we ended up getting the part, and I think the part was like $40 just for the belt. But man, it took us like 6 hours to figure out this, and watch some YouTube videos and look at some diagrams, and which by the way, Cub Cadet out there, there's no diagrams for the drive belt. You put out tons of diagrams for the deck belt, which turns the blades, and so it's real easy to find. It's even like on a picture on the mower, but there's no diagrams anywhere for the drive belt.
And that's the one that breaks.
And that's the one. Well, at least for me, that's the one that's broken. So, and while I was there, I went ahead and replaced the deck belt because I was like, well, I'm here.
Might as well.
Yeah. So, and part of that is because we had to drop the entire deck and take it off the mower to even get to the drive belt. So, after that 6 hour, trip to the carnival, I was like, cool. I fixed the mower. We fixed it. It was running great. Well, about 3 months later, the drive belt breaks again.
No, you've got to be kidding me.
And this was just a week and a half ago now.
Oh.
And so today I actually went back out and I was like, and I inadvertently bought an extra deck belt and I'd hung it up in the garage thinking, you know what? If it ever breaks again, I'll just have one because they're kind of hard to find too.
Okay.
So I had the part already. And so today I was like, you know what? I'm going to go out there. I'm going to get started on it. Because I know last time it took me like 6 hours with 2 people. So it's probably going to take me like 10 hours to do it just by myself. Well, I got out there and I started working on it. And man, I knocked it out in like 3 hours.
Wow.
And part of it is I'd done it before.
Okay, yeah.
I knew what needed to happen. I didn't have to like look that up as much.
Right.
I knew the tools I was going to need and the process it was going to take. And I just had more of a familiarity with what I was doing. So I was able to actually knock it out pretty quick. But like I was living in like full anticipation of this, like my lawn just getting out of control over the next, because I typically only have like Saturdays to really like do stuff around the house. And so I was like, well, I better take advantage now because I know I'm going to have to like finish this up next Saturday or, that wouldn't even happen. It'd be like the Saturday after that because I'm not going to be in town this Saturday.
Sure.
And so like, I was like, I just got to get it started now. But man, I felt I got done and I was like, man, there's no way I actually did this right. So I was going around double checking. I had time to double check to like see that I'd actually done this thing. And it fired right up. I don't know what caused the second break, but man, it was just a pain, but like it still set me back quite a bit because I should have spent this morning mowing the lawn.
Right.
That's just something, especially this time of year, you gotta keep a handle on it because that St. Augustine will just get out of control really quick.
I know.
I think you were telling me yesterday you had to knock your lawn out, and it was
it was awful.
Yeah,
I almost called you because I needed a zero turn because the push mower wasn't cutting the mustard.
You would have been sorely disappointed.
Wouldn't have been good.
Come over with my weed whacker.
I almost need it. I actually thought about coming at it with that because mine was. It had been a couple of weeks, and the problem was I was gone for a week, and then when I get back between the catch up schedule and rain. We've had a lot of rain the last couple of
An
weeks.
unusual amount of rain for the summertime.
Exactly. I mean, most of the time that really does come at the end of the summer, but the beginning of the summer, not so much. And so it's been crazy. And so that made it actually, grow faster. And so it had been like 2 weeks since I had mowed my yard, and it was super tall. So yeah, it was gnarly whenever I finally cut it yesterday.
You're sending seed out all over the place.
I was using the, it was spitting it out the side because it's hard to clog it up whenever it's just shooting it straight out the side. So I was like, okay, we'll do that. I thought I'll come back and mulch it after I'm done, which I've done before. Twice the amount of time, but I'm not bagging this stuff at this point. And there was so much that it was really tough to even mulch it the second time. So I was like, man, I need one of those ride-ons that'll just, man, those things are powerful.
Yeah, you ever done one of those where you build your own grass trap? Like because like the chute is like on the right-hand side. And so like you're working yourself in kind of like a square or a circle.
Yes.
And but you keep shooting it all in the middle.
Yes.
Yes. That pile keeps getting bigger and bigger that you're trying to mulch.
That was yesterday. That was last night whenever I was trying to mow. In fact, it was one of those deals. It's like, okay, this thing shoots out on the right. So if I go the traditional direction, okay, then it's going to throw it all into the middle. If I go the opposite direction, that's ideal, but that's where all of the flower beds are. So I'm just going to shoot it into the flower bed.
Street.
Exactly. So it's like, I couldn't win. I was trying to strategically figure this out in my head, and I just made myself tired.
Yeah. It's just mow the lawn.
Exactly.
So I've had it so big before where like I finally get that pile big enough, and like if I'm using like a push mower, like you push down on the back of it to kind of lift the front end up so you can like attack that pile and like slowly lower it down on top of it so that you can.
Yeah, it's like it's going along. It's like then you got to push down and it gets going again. It's like that's my lawnmower sound.
Yeah, if you're laughing along, it's because you've done it too.
That's right. That's right. It's like I don't want this thing to clog up. I don't want to have to yank that cord again.
That's right. I won't have to start this thing. Come on, baby. Just
that's right.
Just a little bit.
I will tell you this. Since we're talking about mowers for a moment, I bought a new mower last year.
Okay.
And my first brand new lawnmower, the one I had before was actually a Cub Cadet.
Okay.
And I bought it. Man, I almost stole it from this guy. I paid like $75 for it, and it was still in really good condition. And I had it for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And it was really, really good mower. But finally, some things wore out on it, and I decided to buy me a new one. And I was like, I'm not going back with the kind that I had. It was self-propelled. It was a great mower, but I wanted one of those with a blade stop on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So if you've never used a mower with a blade stop on it, it's pretty simple technology, and that is you start the mower up, and the motor begins, but then you have to engage the blade.
Right.
And so whenever you let go of the blade, you're not technically holding the blade, but the lever that makes the blade turn, when you let go of it, the blade stops, but the motor still goes. So you don't have to keep, pulling the string every time you're trying to start it back up. So it's a lot less wear and tear on the pull cord, first of all, and on your back.
Yeah.
And so I went ahead and bought one of those, and it's self-propelled. And let me tell you, that is a route you want to go. It might cost you another $100 to find one with a blade stop on it.
Sure.
It is worth the money. So just do it. If you're going to buy a walk behind mower, go with one that's a little bit more expensive and get that blade stop.
Yeah. Have you seen these new robot mowers?
Yes.
Dude, those things are crazy.
In fact, I'm trying to figure out in my head how I can, because the one that's out there that I've got my eye on is a Husqvarna.
I was going to say that's the one I've seen.
Yeah, and so it's got really amazing.
Like $2,300 right now, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I think you can start. They start out somewhere around 15.
Okay,
but that's installed because you have to have a professional wire installed. And you could probably do it yourself, but you're probably not going to want to.
Right.
But these things are a lot different than what you expect they might be.
Mhm.
The technology has been around for a long time. In fact, I did an internship when I was in college back in 2003. That the family that I lived with, the guy worked for a robotics company, and he owned one.
Oh, okay.
He owned a mower in 2003 that was essentially doing what these are today. They've just made them a lot more commercial and put some really cool features on them. Yes, they're very expensive, but people are commenting, oh, so just someone's going to go steal my lawnmower whenever it's running. But they've got sensors on them to know that if it's been picked up, it just shuts itself down. You can't start it up again unless you have the code. And they've got GPS on them. So that you know where it's gone, but you also know if it's gone. I've looked into these things extensively, actually, and tried to figure out, okay, if I were paying someone to mow my lawn, which I don't, but let's just say I did, and I don't know, let's be fairly reasonable, $50 for someone to come mow my yard. Right now, it's going to have to be done once a week. So it's $200 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, we're only looking at 10 months before that has paid for itself.
Yeah.
And around here, you almost have to mow 10 months out of the year. And so I'm thinking, okay, in 2 years, I got this thing paid for.
Yeah.
And at that point, I don't have to mow. I don't have to worry about 8-inch tall grass. It's doing it for me every couple of days if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So
they're incredible.
You've looked into them. So do they also do the edging?
No. No, that's the thing.
I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that I think, I don't know how they could, but like I have thought, okay, if all I have to do, I can go around an edge with a weed eater, edge and weed eat my house, which I've got quite a few flower beds, and my property's not small for a residential. It's like 12,000 square feet. I can do that in 20, 30 minutes.
Sure.
So if all I got to do is 20, 30 minutes a week,
yeah,
I can do that.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I spend a good hour.
Well, sure.
Edging.
You got a lot more property than me.
Well, I don't even necessarily care as much about some of the edges as most people.
Sure.
It's just like the ones
but you
that
got to get around posts.
I got to get around posts. I got to get around the house. I got to get around all kinds of stuff. But like, to make sure that the fence line's cleared and all that kind of stuff. But like, I have looked into like one of those push edgers. Those things are awesome.
Yeah.
I would love one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, those are pretty cool.
So if nothing else to do, like my ditches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, one day.
Man, you can really spend a lot of money on lawn equipment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I will tell you that the better lawn equipment you get, the happier you will be.
Like,
I mean, the amount of wear and tear you can put on it, the speed. I mean, you're telling me that push mower you had, what kind of deck? What size the deck? What was it?
I want to say it was like a 16, 18 inch deck. I mean, that was nothing.
And mine's a 22.
Yeah.
And you think that's 4 to 6 inches every single swath you're taking.
Yeah.
And that adds up quick.
Well, I went from that to a 46.
Yeah. That's exponential.
And that's not even like, that's not even like the one I wanted. I wanted the 52.
Yeah. Have you seen these bad boy mowers?
Oh, dude.
The bad boys are awesome. Those things, okay.
So like, here's the deal. If money was not an issue, what I would have is, I want to say it's like 72.
Oh my goodness.
And it's like diesel operated. And I'm trying to remember if it's Kubota that makes it.
Does it cut down trees? Sounds like it might.
Well, I will say this, like, one of the reasons I ended up getting the one that I got is because I do like some technological innovations in my products. And this was one of the first ones that had Bluetooth connectivity. And what's neat about it is, you say Bluetooth and you're like, why are you streaming music on your mower? And it's like, I'm not. What happens is my mower actually connects to an app on my phone that tracks my mower for me, and so it tells me when I need oil changes. It tells me when I need to do belt and blade sharpening, and when usual usage. It tracks the hours basically, and based on the hours, it'll send me reminders and part numbers for things that I need in order to do the maintenance on my mower.
That's handy.
It's very handy, and you can actually order the parts through the app if you want to.
Brilliant.
It's a really, really smart thing that they did.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the other mowers that do. I'm sure there's other ones that have it.
Surely.
But this was just the first one I found that could do it, because my mower's, I think it's 2.5, 3 years old now.
Sure.
So which it still shouldn't be having the issues that it's had.
True. Not this early.
Yeah, and it's had some other issues that weren't its fault. Also weren't my fault, but c'est la vie.
Yeah. You have kids. Speaking of, one day you're not too far away from when you can get your girl on that thing, right?
Oh, they're all. I'm like they think it's cool.
Yeah, I'm sure they do, but I mean, like, get them on there to do the full project.
Well, eventually.
Yeah.
But like, man, if you've driving a zero turn is
fun.
Like, people think it is fun, but like people think that because they've driven like a car, like they're going to understand it, and they don't. It's a completely different animal.
Yeah, it's very, very different.
So, but like once you kind of get the groove of it, it's really fun.
Sure.
and neat, because you can maneuver like you don't in a vehicle.
Right.
So anyway,
pretty cool.
Yeah. So you had a issue this week.
Yeah, but I've had a couple that I could talk about, but the thing that I want to talk about first is my garbage disposal.
Okay.
Do you have a garbage disposal?
I do not.
You don't?
No, and well, part of that is because our kitchen is on the 2.5 floor. Which is a whole other conversation.
I'm tongue-tied for the moment. I mean, I know this, but just you saying 2.5 is you would have to really see his house to understand what that even means.
It's kind of easy to explain. I know that my kitchen's on the 2.5 floor because it's between the 2nd and the 3rd floor.
Yes.
I can see the 2nd and the 3rd floor from my kitchen.
Yes. And it is higher than your 2nd floor and lower than your 3rd.
There is a staircase that goes to the kitchen.
Yes.
It's not quite as tall as the staircase going to the 3rd floor.
There you go. That's how you get 2.5.
It's the 2.5 floor. I don't know any other way to describe it.
I don't either.
Am I describing it? I mean, like,
absolutely.
That's the best way to describe it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I
all
can
by
see,
itself.
Yes.
And so there's no garbage disposal.
I can see why that would be a problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long way to the septic from there.
Sure. So we've got a garbage disposal, and I Ryan Burke, please close your ears, because I know you hate garbage disposals. All plumbers, I think, hate garbage disposals.
Sure.
Because pipes are supposed to have water in them, and I mean, it's about it. I mean, you're not supposed to put food down your drain. That's not what they were created for.
I will say this about garbage disposals. I do think that it amplifies Slavic behavior.
Oh, there's no doubt, because, I mean, there are certain things you should not put down a garbage disposal.
Right.
I mean, like, if you're putting potato peels down your garbage disposal, stop. Just don't do it anymore. Let me save yourself a lot of problems.
Right.
Don't do it.
Yeah. And like, to be clear in that, like, I'm not saying that if you have a garbage disposal that you're Slavic.
Right. I didn't hear that.
I'm not saying that about you. I'm just saying not all people that have garbage disposals are slovenly people.
Sure.
It just, if you have those tendencies and you're an undisciplined person, I think it's going to bring that out in you.
Sure. And it is a whole lot easier to shove food down the garbage disposal than it is to scrape it off into the trash can. And I get that. But I go to turn my garbage disposal on the other day, and it just doesn't come on. It hums.
So like seized up.
It hums, but it's not turning.
Right.
So I do know from a sump pump that if it is humming, but it's not working, then it's seized up somehow.
Right.
most likely there's something lodged in it. So I understand all of that. But I'm still without a garbage disposal. So I tell my wife, hey, we're going to plug that up. We put one of those, the drain catchers in there so that nothing goes down it, because it's habit for us to put food down it. So I don't want to dig it out. So put one of those drain catchers in it. I said, we've got two options here. I can go buy a new garbage disposal. It's a half horsepower than what I've got. They're about $100 at Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever you want to buy them. Different brands. They essentially all do the same thing.
Yeah. Chew the food up.
Yeah. And you can do your research on which one you think is better than others. But I look at this one and I go, dude, this thing is old. In fact, if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, you're not gonna find a KitchenAid brand garbage disposal.
It was a KitchenAid,
but it's a KitchenAid. That's what I got.
Yeah.
So
it's a good brand.
Absolutely. And it's obviously worked for a long time because it's obviously been there for a long time.
It's actually like one of the ways I can tell whether or not somebody's like actually a serious cook in the kitchen if they got one of those KitchenAid stand mixers.
Yeah.
Those things are awesome.
Oh man, I'm thinking about cookies right now. Anyway, so I told my wife, okay, we can either just go buy a new garbage disposal, be $100, and then I'm gonna have to take, an hour to put this thing in. Maybe not even that long. They're fairly easy to put in.
I've never done one.
Yeah, I've had to put one.
I imagine there's an in and an out.
There is. There's also one from the dishwasher if you've got a dishwasher.
Okay.
So, there's a couple of pipes in there that you got to make sure water's, not coming through.
Do they have them now to where like the garbage disposal comes on when the dishwasher's pumping out?
I don't know.
That'd be kind of cool.
Mine doesn't. But yeah, I could see the value in that.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is you'd have to make sure that you're like most dishwashers don't allow food of any size down it.
Sure.
So that would have to kind of work hand in glove.
Yeah.
In order for that to work. One thing you might ought to do, that being said, people, is go look at the bottom of your dishwasher. You might have a lot of junk down there that you might want to clear out.
They do have filters on them that do need to be cleaned from time to time.
Absolutely. So go check that out. But it's really not rocket science to change out a garbage disposal. It just takes a little bit of time, and make sure you got buckets under there to catch, excess water that might come out. And there's a few screws. It helps to have another person there with you. So I'd tell my wife, I can do this. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but we have a home warranty.
Right.
And it covers appliances because we paid for that. When we bought our house, a lot of times people will add a home warranty on it just as an incentive.
Right.
And these things can cost anywhere from $400 to $1,000 a year. And then you've got a deductible. And then that should be it.
Right.
If something's not covered, they'll still do it, but you're going to pay for it. But, supposedly you've paid for the service and then you've got your deductible, you're good to go. It's basically like insurance, right? So we've got a $75 deductible. And I can do math. And so I'm going $75 is less than $100. And having someone else take care of the situation is cheaper and easier. Use our cost calculator on homeownershow.com to find out.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot cheaper to have someone else do it than to do it yourself sometimes whenever you've already got it paid for. So
pretty much any time when the price is lower for someone else to do it, the calculator is going to push you towards letting them do it.
Absolutely. So I make the call. Thankfully, my home warranty is pretty easy. I can go online, tell them I got a garbage disposal issue. They set up a ticket and it's taken care of. They send a dispatch, call me. Hey, so-and-so is coming. So they send them out. So this is on a Monday, scheduled for a Wednesday. And man, they're like the cable people, right? We'll give you a 12 to 4 window. Okay, you'll be here from 12 to 4. That's in the middle of the day. Fantastic. Thankfully, my wife's off during the summer, so she's home. She can take care of that. I'll get there in the evening, whatever. So 4 o'clock rolls around. No one's there. At 3:30, I had called and tried to find out, hey, how am I supposed to know when this person's coming? I mean, you gave me a 4-hour window. I can't imagine you're going to be here in the next 2 minutes and that you're going to be able to fix this in the next 28 minutes.
Right.
Like you're bumping up on your time here. Well, long story short, they ran long on a job that morning.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than being courteous and calling me and saying, hey, we're going to be late or we might need to reschedule, they just didn't do anything. So finally, I got a call about 4 o'clock and said, we're an hour away. We'll be there in an hour. So, okay. All of a sudden, we're turning into a 5-hour window instead of 4-hour window. And that's just for you to get here, let alone for you to take care of the problem. Yeah. So this guy shows up at my house 5 o'clock. He was on time according to whenever he said he would be there.
Yeah.
Once he called. So I let him come in, and he goes in, looks at my garbage disposal, and he said, garbage disposals are really hard to warranty out. Okay. What does that mean? He said, well, the likelihood of a garbage disposal fitting the warranty specifications are pretty small unless it's leaking. Is your garbage disposal leaking? I said, no, it just won't turn. He said, it's probably seized up then. I said, yeah, it's not working. He goes, warranty doesn't cover that. Okay. Would you like to look at my garbage disposal? Let's look at it before you make this determination. So he goes up there, and I did not know this. Apparently, most garbage disposals have some sort of a release on them to where if something is seized up in there, something's stuck, it will basically open it up and allow that to pass through.
Okay.
Which, honestly, if something's stuck in there, it's probably large enough, you might not even want it to pass through. But if it's causing your garbage disposal not to work, hey, let's figure it out.
Right.
Basically, he takes an Allen wrench and sticks it up in the middle of the garbage disposal from the bottom, from the underside, and starts shoving that thing to the left and the right, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trying to get this thing to release. It doesn't release. He can't. He does get it to start, and then a couple of seconds later, it just starts humming again. And so I'm frustrated. I'm going, man, I could have stuck an Allen wrench up there and wiggled it back and forth and been able to tell anybody this thing isn't unsticking itself.
Right.
So the guy tells me, yeah, man, this isn't going to work. You need new garbage disposal. I said, right. That's why I called you. Well, warranty's not going to cover it. Why not? Well, because there's something stuck and it's a foreign object, and so it will not be covered under your warranty. Okay. What does that mean? Well, it's going to be $199 for you to get a new garbage disposal. I can put it on right now. I said, well, are you sure that's a problem? Because I need a new garbage disposal. You just said I need a new garbage disposal. You and I are in agreement about this. He said, yeah, boss man told me I couldn't take a garbage disposal off my truck today. He told you what? Yeah, he told me I probably wasn't going to put in a new garbage disposal no matter what happened. He can be mad at me if I come back tomorrow and I don't have that brand new garbage disposal either on my truck or $199 in the bank account. And now I'm really frustrated because you're an hour late in a 4-hour window. And now, whether this is what you mean or not, what you just said is you're not going to help me because your boss is going to be mad at you.
Right.
I feel like you're very unprofessional at this point.
Right.
And I told him that. I said, it sounds pretty unprofessional for you to even tell me that. It probably came out differently than I meant it. Well, no, it came out exactly the way you said it. So anyway, the end of the day, he leaves, and I still don't have a garbage disposal that works.
Right.
Let's take a time out.
And you're also out $75.
I'm out $75 because
to watch somebody jiggle an Allen wrench.
Absolutely. He's there for about 7 minutes.
Right.
Even though he's already 5 hours into this window. So I call my home warranty company and I say, listen, here's the deal. This guy just left my house. He tells me that this is the problem with the garbage disposal. I understand that. I wholeheartedly understand the situation.
Right.
If there is a foreign object in my garbage disposal and you say under the terms of the warranty that it is not covered, I understand that. It's not covered. Let me tell you my frustration. The guy's late. He's unprofessional when he's there. And I had no control over the person you sent. I had no control over the company that you sent. And I'm not happy with the service that I was given by your company. And I just want to know what you're going to do about it. Well, we can put a note in their file that will reflect poorly on them. Okay. That sounds like a great idea. Now, what about my $75 that I paid for waiting at my house for 5 hours for a guy to come into 7 minutes and be unprofessional and kind of rude to me? Well, we can't. I was on the phone 3 different times to 3 different people, one of them being a manager at this company.
Right. And
he told me, yep, there's nothing we're going to do about that. So, word to the wise, these home warranty companies out there are not going to have your best interest in mind. Now, it was under the terms of the warranty. I get that this is not a serviceable issue.
Sure.
I get that. But you have no control over who they're going to send you or when they're going to show up or what kind of people they're going to be when you get there. So, at the end of the day, I'm out $75 for this service call. And now I've got to go to Home Depot or somewhere and buy a garbage disposal that's going to cost me $100. And then I'm going to have to put it in myself, which I should have done to begin with. And I get that. But I have this other thing. I should use the other thing.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. So now I'm out more money, and more time and more frustration because I was on the phone with these people 3 different times. I was, there's a sizable amount of time there. And so the garbage disposal, not that big of a deal. In fact, if you need a garbage disposal replaced or you'd like to install one, they're not even that difficult to install. They're more difficult to install because you've got a few extra pieces that you're going to have to put down there that aren't already in the plumbing. But to just switch one out, it's very simple. You can YouTube how to do it. Very, very simple to do.
Actually, I enjoy doing like some light plumbing.
Sure.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Connect set.
It is. You put the pieces together, screw them together, you're good. But here's the other thing. Let's say you don't know how to do that. Call Ryan Burke and his family.
Yeah.
Call somebody you know. Call someone you trust. And you're going to get a much better experience with someone else coming into your home and doing the work and you feeling confident about it, that they're going to stand behind their product. They're going to stand behind their service. And honestly, I have no reason to believe that I would get any of that with the company, with the guy that they sent out.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is... My rant here is about a garbage disposal and the frustrating pit that is. But maybe even more so, we need to do a whole episode on home warranties because I'm not saying they're all bad.
Sure.
I mean, goodness sakes, if you had an air conditioner go out, man, those things can cost $5,000, $6,000, $7,000.
Oh yeah,
easy. And if it's in the middle of the summer, like it is right now, you might be 3 or 4 weeks before they get to you.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. In this humidity, this heat, that would be devastating. But it would lessen the blow if all I had to pay was $75 deductible and my $7,000 air conditioner was replaced.
Yeah. I was going to
That's
say,
good.
we actually had I think I've told you about this before with our dishwasher. We have a warranty as well. And we've, for years been with Home Shield.
Okay.
And this was an instance where like their own practices and policies worked against them. And because we had an issue with our dishwasher. And so, we called them, and I think ours is like $100 to have somebody out, which is, I mean, like for typically when it's an issue where I need somebody to come out, it's worth $100 to have somebody come out and deal with whatever's going on. And it's $100 on top of whatever our monthly, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So anyway, dishwasher wasn't working. Guy came out and said, "Oh, no big deal. I know exactly the part to replace. I'll be back tomorrow with the part." Cool, man. Comes out, replaces the part, leaves. My wife does a load of dishes. Still doesn't work. So we call the company. We say, "Hey, hate to call you guys, but the dishwasher's still not working." Guy comes back out. We don't have to pay the $100 again,
right?
Because it wasn't resolved,
right?
So he comes back out and he goes, "Oh yeah, it must be this." This happens 8 times.
Oh my goodness. Is this guy dumb?
No.
Oh.
No, he's a nice, intelligent dude. I mean, we had the same guy come out, and he ended up having another company come out to like look over what he'd been doing. Because after like trip number 4, I was like, "Hey man, at this point, shouldn't we just like replace the dishwasher?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, they have a policy. If it's repairable, we have to repair it."
Wow.
And so like, I basically get a brand new dishwasher
because every part is new.
Yeah, they replace every single part on this dishwasher, other than like the exterior, stainless steel or whatever it is. And yeah, I mean, like, and I bet you that whole ordeal probably cost them $3 or $4 grand.
Sure,
which the dishwasher didn't cost anywhere near that.
No,
I mean, it's like, guys, I mean, like after trip number 4, we've already bought a new dishwasher.
Right.
Let's just call it a day.
Right.
Put her to bed.
They're a few $100s. Go get me a new one.
But it was like, no.
You have a policy.
Yeah. And so like they just, and so those repair guys just kept charging them.
Wow.
So, and like, it's not cheap.
No, it's not. And I'm going to go ahead and call these people out. Are you ready?
Sure.
Fidelity National Home Warranty. I'm calling them out. Right now. Yeah. So if you have them, good luck. I'm not renewing. I'm up for renewal next month. I'm not renewing with them.
Yeah.
And here's my deal. I understand my issue wasn't resolved.
Right.
The bigger issue I had was with their customer service.
Sure.
I mean, you send me someone that I don't know. I have no control over them. They're late. They weren't courteous enough to even. I mean, if you're on a call that is lasting hours longer than it should,
right? You
should know my later appointments either aren't going to happen or they're going to get pushed back.
Yeah.
A simple courtesy call or text. Hey, we're going to be late, or can we reschedule? I would have been really happy with that. Probably would have changed a lot of how I felt about the interaction that I had with the guy whenever he got there.
Communication's huge.
It's huge. But then on top of that, I'm already frustrated because of how late it is. You come in, you're rude. I'm sure it's at the end of your day too. I get all of that. But I feel like you as a warranty company should have had a little bit more respect for your customer who's paying you hundreds of dollars every year just to own the policy.
Right.
Let alone to use the policy. To do something here and at least give me a bone. Throw me a bone. Something.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the bone is. Just
a bone.
A bone would have been nice to have been thrown, but it wasn't.
Did you get an I'm sorry?
Yeah, he said, "I'm sorry, but I can't help you." I'll just tell you right now, people, pet peeve of mine. Don't say I'm sorry if your next word is going to be but. Because that's not an apology.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not an apology. So
would have been okay. I'm sorry that I can't help you.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But whenever you qualify it with, yeah, I'm sorry, but there's absolutely nothing that I can do for you. Okay. Who can? Well, I'm the guy that makes these decisions. Oh, so it is your fault at the end of the day. So anyway, that's my rant. I'm a fan of garbage disposals.
Yeah.
I really am.
So did you get it replaced?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I had to mow my grass.
You been in there jiggling
Twice.
an Allen wrench?
No, we got the little stopper in there to make sure that doesn't happen, and it's probably going to be 2 or 3 weeks before I actually get to it.
Oh wow!
It's just my summer schedule is such that
Time to start a compost pile.
Yeah, I guess so. That'll be the next project.
Yeah,
but hey, honestly, I'm not averse to putting in the garbage disposal. It's a pretty simple fix.
Sure.
But it just goes to show you that there are moments whenever you get into home projects and it is just frustratingly difficult to get stuff done. I mean, all you wanted to go out there and do was mow your grass, and you couldn't do it. Yeah. All I wanted to do was get this garbage disposal fixed, and
throw that strawberry stem down the drain.
Yeah. I mean, think about it this way. I'm not kidding. If I didn't call the warranty people,
right,
I had 5 hours
to fix it.
Yeah. That I had taken out of the day to make sure that somebody was home. I could have fixed it easily within 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I would have been done.
Man.
But here we are. So
but we'll get that good story about the install.
Yeah.
There we go.
That'll come. That'll come. Hopefully that won't be more tales from the pit.
Yeah. Well, I imagine you'll be giving Ryan a call
if it comes down to it and I have an issue, Ryan's my guy.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Which, by the way, I just saw the house he built.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's awesome.
Yeah. They put a lot of cool little details into it too. So
really, really cool.
Yeah.
I was going around checking all the water.
Yeah. Yeah. So between him, doing the plumbing gig and his wife being a realtor, they've seen some homes.
Oh yeah.
So they built a cool one.
Very cool.
So
anything else we got for today, man?
I think that's about it. I think we're running out of time anyway.
Oh yeah.
We don't want another 1.5 hour episode today.
Well, not today.
Maybe later. In fact, I think if you have him back on, and I guarantee there's more of that stuff to talk about.
I guarantee you we could go 2 hours.
Absolutely. Let's not. But I know we can. I know we can.
Just going to push the envelope just a little bit.
Just a little bit further. Yeah. Let's see how many listeners we still have. The 135 mark. That's it.
Yep.
Everybody's out.
Peace out. Nobody's listening.
They turned us off.
No.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate everybody listening in, tuning in. And if you do have a tale from the pit, so to speak, if you've got something that just didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, and stuff like that happens, we want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Send us an email. Give us some details. You can send us an email at info@homeownershow.com and give us some details about what's going on. If it's a really good story, we may even find a way to get you in the studio or get you on the phone so that we can do an episode with you so we can hear about it.
No, if you just want to record it yourself, send it to us.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
We'd love to have you guys. You can post a video up on YouTube, tag us in it.
Voice record on your phone.
Tag us on Facebook. We'd love to hear these stories.
Sure.
Tales from the pit.
That's it.
So
we'll have a part 2 and 3 and 4 eventually.
Yeah. Cool, man. Anything else?
No. You got anything else?
No.
All right. Well, until then, we are here every Tuesday. So hit the subscribe button. Don't miss an episode. Thanks for listening. We'll see you later.
See ya.